Well, what's up, guys? My name's Justin, and this is our first podcast episode. We're outside. I thought for a while, where do I film? And thought about filming inside, but we are doing small beginnings. This is what this is. We don't have a table. We don't have half the equipment that we need, but I got a camera and I have a voice. And so we're outside. We're actually here by the lake. I think you might be able to see a little bit here in the background. I thought it was a little bit fitting because this is kind of an outdoor channel, and yeah, I love being outside. It's also a beautiful day. It's the day after Labor Day. We've had this great weather. A little bit of a cold front's moved in, and it's like really the first cold front that we've had since having this long, humid, hot summer. And so this is podcast number 1. Thanks for tuning in. And I think with this first podcast, really just wanted to talk about me and talk about the channel and talk about my hobbies and just give you guys an opportunity to get to hear from me and get to know me. So where do I start? I'm married to my beautiful wife, Melanie. Here's a picture here of us. I think I got 2 pictures. I've been married for coming up on 3 years now. This December will be 3 years. Love my wife dearly. She is undoubtedly my better half, as they say. Grateful to be married to her. Also, I have a cat. I'll show you a picture there. You've seen him in videos if you've watched any of my other videos. His name is Butters. It's like a calico kind of a cat. He's also, excuse the wind. The wind is bad out here. So again, small beginnings. Cat's name is Butters. Love that guy. He's got to be like 12, and it's really kind of a guess because he was a rescue. My wife rescued him before I met her, and then whenever I met her, she told me that they were a package deal. And it worked out for me because I always wanted a cat, and so I got potentially the best cat ever. So love that guy. He mostly just sleeps all day, and then he runs around the house at night and causes trouble. So yeah, wife and a cat, no kids, but as far as like what I do when I'm not YouTubing, I'm actually a police officer. I've been on the streets for about a year now, and learning a lot, and it's a challenging job. It's also a very rewarding job, but that's enough about that. So I do that, and I just love being outside. I'd say as far as hobbies go, like that's the big thing for me. I love anything that involves just being outside. So that includes more than just, hunting and fishing, but also like I love to run. I'm actually running a half marathon here in November, training a bunch for that. And in one of my weekly vlog videos, you'll see a little bit of that kind of happening. As far as like outdoor stuff though, you've seen some fishing stuff, but really, and I think I talked about it in one video, one of the things I love to do is I love to hunt. Love to deer hunt specifically, but also dove hunting and things like that. And we have dove hunting coming up here in 4 days. We also have archery season for deer coming up in just a couple of weeks. And then firearm season starts in October. And I'm here in Georgia, and so all the laws are different in different states, but grew up hunting. So that's a big love of mine, is just being outside in the woods. To me, there's nothing better than getting up early in the morning and getting out in a deer stand or hunting on the ground or whatever, a blind, having your cup of coffee and just that cold, crisp weather, watching the sunrise, hearing the sounds of the woods. It's just a love of mine. And right along with that, with hunting, I also love to camp. I love camping. Been camping for years. I have a hammock. I did a video on some camping gear, so check that out. But I have a hammock, and hammock camping is a lot of fun. I also have a tent, and it's just fun to get outside and be around a fire. I don't know. I love being around a campfire. Again, that cold weather, just everything about it. Cooking over the fire. Also, just being around people that you love while also doing those things is something that I think is underrated. With anything outdoors that I've done as a child and then also as an adult, I look back on what I enjoyed the most about it, and anytime I thought about it, yes, like shooting a deer is a lot of fun, and going through the whole process and the adrenaline rush of it is awesome. But also like just being around people that you care about and making memories with those people, and then eating food with those people. I'm a big foodie. I love food. So like when you combine those two things, food and people, and then you put us outdoors, to me there's nothing better. A lot of the stuff that I do, I try to do it with people. Like I always hunted with my dad growing up, and we have a lot of fond memories. But also when I camp with people, I like to camp with people. It's nice to camp by yourself sometimes, but also just being around other folks, you get to share memories together with those people, and then you get to just kind of reminisce on that stuff later. So it's always nice to have people with you. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I am a Christian, and when I say that, it comes with all sorts of like, I feel like almost negative connotations. People hear that and it's like, what does that even mean nowadays? But maybe a better word is, a Christ follower. I am a man of faith, and I am not perfect, and I make mistakes every single day, but I do serve the Lord, and my household serves the Lord. Me and my wife, we both go to church. We love our church, and we learn something every Sunday. I bring my Bible and my journal, and I try to pay attention. And I just find that when I mention church, I find that life is a lot better when you're doing it in community with other people and you're not isolated. So it's good to have people around me. I have a men's group that I hang out with those people every other week, and we open up. We're going through the book of Proverbs right now. It's a good time. We eat food, mostly pizza, just laugh and cut up and tell stories and read the Bible. It's great. It's just kind of a lifestyle, and to me it kind of trickles down from the top. That's who I am, probably first and foremost. I follow Christ, and then it trickles into everything else that I do. It trickles into how I serve and love my wife, but also how I do my job at work, how I treat other people, and then also how I do this YouTube channel. And just it goes all the way down to the bottom. So, and it needs to be in that order as well. Yeah, so I'm a Christ follower. I'm a married man. Love my cat. Love to be outside. I've told you about the running. I love to run. I'm trying to get back into it because I took a long hiatus from running. I've run some 5Ks, and I'm a very competitive person. I love just the sport of competing with other people towards a goal, and I have never placed ever, and I'm not even fast, so the odds of me winning a race are pretty slim. But it's the whole act of just getting outside and running with other people, and it's the adrenaline of the race starts and you're off, so it's just a lot of fun. I love anything that involves other people, and again, being outside. And I'm just kind of competitive, which is weird and ironic because I don't really win anything ever. So but it's a lot of fun. I've actually never run a half marathon before, and so like I said, I'm running one in November, and this is my first one. I've run 5Ks, and those are really quick. Usually those are 4 speed anyways. The goal is to run it as quick as you can, and it's kind of like a short spurt of you're running as fast of a pace per mile as you can for about 20 minutes, give or take, a little bit less, a little bit more, depending on how fast you are. With a half marathon, this is a very new concept. I've never run 13 miles in a row ever in my life. So training for that and talking to people and trying to figure out what are the best tips and tricks to do it well. So I'm gonna get into some new Brooks. Yeah, just training a lot. So you'll see a lot of that. But enough of that stuff. I also just want to talk about the channel. What is this channel, and where do I see it going, and what am I excited about for the future? This is I've talked about it before. This is like an outdoor channel, and so that really encompasses a lot of things. Up to this point, it's just been, this wind is terrible, so I'm gonna try to speak as loud as I can. But I've had a lot of fishing videos so far, primarily, and that's been all good and well, and that's been a lot of fun. But there's so much more to what this channel is than just that. I want to do camping videos. I want to do hunting videos, which is coming very soon. And that's deer, dove, and just trying new things, whether it's kayaking or camping or hiking, or me and my wife had some trips coming up, and I want to try to document as much of that as I can, but also like I've done a vlog already, and that was kind of an experimental thing just to kind of see how it would work. There's another vlog coming again. It might already be posted by the time you see this. If not, it's coming. Looking at like doing like a weekly vlog, and then, you know, that's just kind of to document like my life. And my vision kind of behind the vlogs is like it being like a behind the scenes kind of a thing. Like all this stuff that doesn't make it in the normal videos, you know, and just like my life, like who I am, because there's so many facets to a person, right? And, you know, we're not always going to be camping, we're not always going to be hunting, but like I have a whole life and that I live, and I have always wanted to do a vlog, and it's so much fun. Like I had a ton of fun making the first one that I did that I posted, and then also the one I'm currently filming right now is so much fun. Everything from the filming it and getting creative to editing it in post and just watching this, kind of telling a story is I'm getting a lot of kicks out of it. So that's something you're gonna see on the channel. So you got the weekly vlog, and then you got these podcasts that I'm gonna try. And so this is the first podcast, the pilot episode, and there's a lot about this that is very unconventional, like the fact that I'm outside and the wind cuts through my voice sometimes probably, and there's cicadas, and because we're in South Georgia, there's planes flying over the head. But there's a quote that says, don't despise small beginnings, or don't despise humble beginnings. And that's something I'm trying to keep in mind as I do this YouTube channel, as I kind of experiment. Not to be averse to trying things and not having everything in a row at first. You know, like my vision for if this podcast takes off is to have a whole podcast space, to have a table, to have headphones, audio interface, condenser microphone, all the things. And I have like maybe half of that equipment, but I don't have everything that I need. And so I was even hesitant to even start this because, you know, I thought, well, I wanted to be really, really good, and I wanted to be professional and all those things. But then you know, another thing that I think about a lot is, you know, as long as the bones of something are good and are there, then the rest will take care of itself. And I really feel like the bones for this YouTube channel are there. There's the passion, there's the drive, the ambition to do it, and just the love for the outdoors and the love for filming and editing and all those things have to be in place, and the rest will take care of itself. Once this channel grows and gets more views and more subscribers, this will take off, and that'll all take care of itself. But the foundation needs to be there, and just the love for doing it and the love for the game has to be there. And I believe that's there, and I'm excited. I'm so pumped. I was so excited to get out here and do this. Like I said, it's kind of for the love of the game. Like I'm not getting paid to do this at all. There's no sponsors. There's no advertisements. There's not even any AdSense revenue yet, because I can't even get monetized. But it's so new, but the love for it is there, and the passion for it is there. Like I just am itching to get in front of a camera all the time. Some of the challenges I'm running into though is like trying to film and be organic about it, but also like respect other people's space. And, you know, if I'm hanging out with people, like filming them or like asking permission for them to be in the video, there's a little bit of like trying to figure that out. That, you know, when I watch other YouTube videos or other YouTubers and they're doing it so flawlessly, sometimes you forget all the behind the scenes stuff that it takes that you just never see, and the ways that they make it seem effortless, but really like there are hoops and stuff that you have to jump through. And so there's been some challenges there, but none of it crazy. And honestly, it's just a blessing to get to even do this. But again, it's for the love of the game. It's free. Like I'm not getting paid anything other than the satisfaction of doing it and creating something and seeing it come together. But yeah, so that's a little bit about the channel and a little bit about the vision of where I want to go with it. So, you know, I want to do some podcasts, I want to do some weekly vlogs, and then obviously the outdoor content. And that's going to be the meat of it, is just all the things of like hunting or fishing or camping, things that I really enjoy doing anyways, and then just bringing you guys along for it. collaborations with other people, having people in the video other than just me, and again, those weekly vlogs are something I'm really excited about, because you guys will get to see the behind the scenes stuff or just everything else. And to me, if I had to describe it with one word, it's kind of like candid. Like, it's the stuff that, not that the other YouTube videos aren't, like the outdoor videos or whatever, like that stuff is still candid, it really is. But there's an organicness and a candidness to the weekly vlogs that's kind of like, it's very, very unscripted. Like when I go outside to fish or camp or whatever, there's a goal, and it's like, okay, I'm doing this today, and my goal is to catch this many fish, or my goal is to, find this new spot and build a campfire, whatever. But with a weekly vlog, it's kind of like you're just filming life, and whatever happens, happens. That's something I'm just really excited about, because again, it's like you're telling a story. Yeah, that's a little bit about the channel and kind of where I see that going. I think one other thing I wanted to talk about is just like a story, like a backstory of something that I feel like was maybe formative for me, and one of the reasons why I even want to do this in the first place. When I was 6 years old, this is a hunting story. When I was 6 years old, I grew up hunting with my dad, and so I would itch to get out in the woods, and my dad had this like oversized woodland camo. Yeah, we would get up super early in the morning and go outside and hunt for hours. This particular time, we got really early in the morning, and we used to have these 2 chairs, and they were like lawn chairs, like the kind of chairs that you see at like a ball game or whatever. It's the folding chairs, and there was a green one and there was a blue one, and Dad always sat in the green one. I always sat in the like freaking like blue chair, like royal blue, like opposite of the color that you want to have in the woods kind of a chair. Dad's sitting in this green chair, folding chair. I'm sitting in the blue folding chair. It's early in the morning. We're in the middle of like a pine forest. There's a 40 acres behind the house, pine forest. These kind of yellow pines, I believe, or loblollies, one of the two. We're sitting there side by side in the middle of the woods. I remember, as the memory goes, I'm sitting in the chair next to a pine tree or something. And I'm 6 years old. A deer comes out, probably 80 to 100 yards away. I see the deer, and I nudge my dad, and I'm like, hey Dad, like there's a deer over there. And he looks at me and he's like, okay, is it a doe or is it a buck? And he asked me, he's like, is it a doe or is it a buck? And to be honest, I had no idea. I didn't know if it was a doe or, but I had no clue. I just knew it was a deer. And I knew enough at that point, because I'd hunted with my dad a little bit. I knew enough to know that my dad was after a big buck. And so I remember like knowing it was a deer, but not sure if it was a doe or a buck. And so my dad asked me, and I just was like, yeah, it's a buck. And honestly, I think it was just because I wanted him to shoot a deer. And I was like, yeah, it's a buck. And of course he has a scope and he has his rifle and everything. So he confirmed that it was a buck. But again, I didn't know, because I'm just sitting next to him. And I'm sitting there, and I don't even think I had my ears covered. He shoots. And so the shot goes off, and all I remember is, so much about this was like not kosher, but like we're sitting in these folding chairs. He fires. He was shooting. He was believe the rifle he was using was a 35 caliber, not a 30-30, but a 35 caliber Marlin lever action rifle. And I've shot many deer with it later in life, but that's the rifle I believe he was using. He shoots, and I remember my ears just start ringing immediately. I can't hear anything. And again, when I say it was unkosher or not kosher, like as soon as he shot, I just remember like we both stood up and we just take off running towards the deer. He's running next to me. My ears are literally ringing. I feel like I'm in a war. We're running towards this deer, and can't hear anything. And I don't know if he left the rifle back there, but I like to think he probably took it because in case the deer needed to be finished off or whatever. So we're running through the woods. We get up there, and there's, again, it's kind of a blur at that point, but it was this beautiful 8-point buck. And I just remember, like, yeah, I don't know. Like the whole idea of like, I didn't know if it was a doe or a buck, and he confirmed it obviously, but then the magic of like, you know, coming to the realization that it was this beautiful 8-point whitetail deer. And then, you know, fast forward probably, I don't know if it was a couple months later or how long, or if it was I don't know if it was a year, but he got like a nice little mount for it. It wasn't a shoulder mount. It wasn't even a Euro mount. It was just the antlers. And I can still remember the smell of the lacquer and everything on those antlers. And it was just, I think I was like taking a nap or something, and like dad woke me up, parents woke me up, and like had a surprise for me. And then they like pulled the blanket up, and it was this beautiful rack that was mounted. And yeah, it's just, this is a good memory. And so that was like the foundation for me. You know, I had so many memories like that of hunting with my dad, and eventually started hunting on my own. I remember when I shot my first 10-point deer, and you know, maybe I can talk about that in a future episode, but I tell that story just to say, like, you know, that is a huge reason why I even love to do this, is because my dad took the time to teach me how to hunt. My dad took the time out of his day to take me with him when he could have hunted by himself. And I'm sure there were many times where he would have rather hunted by himself, because, you know, I had a small bladder and had to pee every 10 minutes. And I know that's not good for the hunting, but we still saw deer, we still shot deer, and that built the foundation for me as an adult to do this myself. And whenever me and Melanie have kids, you know, I want to pass that on to them as well. And just that love for being outside. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you that story because this is a fun memory for me. And I also will give you guys this little picture here. This is from 2017. This is the biggest buck I've ever shot. It was a 7-point, I believe. The way the story goes, just a quick story, is it was probably 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to just still hunt. And if still hunting is, it's ironic, the name, because I believe still hunting is actually where you are walking through the woods so slow that it is as if you are still. It's not sitting in a stand, it's still hunting. You're walking through and you're really taking a step and you're looking, and every step you take, the woods changes just a little bit. So I'm walking on the left side of the field, and as the story goes, I'm walking, taking a step, walking, taking a step. Eventually I see, I think it was 1 or 2 does that was just taking a trail in the clear cut to my right. And I stop, I see the does, and for whatever one reason or another decided not to shoot the does. And I kept walking just a little bit, and I thought, I think I heard a footstep. I stop, I crouch down, I look, and lo and behold, this beautiful buck is trailing these 2 does, tending the does, you might call it. And it was like in October, maybe late October, early November. I'll have to check the date on that, but it's either pre-rut, rut, or something like that. It was in that time when bucks are tending does, and he was on their trail. It happened very quickly, right? I've crouched down. I have the 35 Marlin, same rifle that my dad shot that 8-pointer with 20 years prior to that. So I shoot this deer. I shot it a little bit high. He drops right there, and then I go up and finish him off. And I just remember being so excited. I called my dad, and I'm like, "Dad, I just shot a giant deer." And then dragged that deer. I think I dragged that deer all the way back from the back left corner of the field, which is 40 acres back, all the way back to the house. And I think I had a deer cart, exhausted. So I don't know if you can even see, like, my face just looks, it says it all. My face is like red. And at that point, that was like 8 years ago. But that's the biggest deer I've ever shot. Just a feeling of like accomplishment. Hopefully, there's gonna be a lot more of that kind of stuff on the channel, of us getting outside and just interacting with the wildlife, and hunting and fishing and camping. It's gonna be a lot of fun stuff, things I'm excited about. And again, it's gonna be a mix of all sorts of stuff, with the weekly vlogs, with the podcasts, with the outdoor stuff. Man, there's gonna be a lot of content, and I think my vision is to create a channel where it's not just outdoors, but it's my life, and it's the people in my life, and it's everything all and above. And I'm really excited about it. But that's gonna be about it for today. This is a little bit on the shorter side. I know podcasts sometimes can be really long, but I think keeping this one short and succinct today with the cicadas and being outside, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself and the channel and vision, and share a couple stories with you guys. But if you found something interesting about this, if you enjoyed this, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me out. Like this video, comment, let me know what you want me to talk about. If you enjoyed a podcast style video, let me know about it. I would love to do more podcasts and grow this as well and add it to part of the channel. So again, if you got something out of it, let me know, subscribe, and yeah, it helps me out so I can make future content for you guys. But hey, until the next one, thanks for tuning in. Catch you later.